amazing. It's enough.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to the Green live stream. I'm your host, Edie Arndell, and my wonderful co-host, Mr. Scott Freeze here. How you
Welcome,
doing, Scott?
Green live streamers. Yes, good to be here.
So our guest is running a little bit late. Leteria Bailey is the founder and CEO of Airetel Media. She was Jill Stein's 2024 social media manager. She started Black and Aware, and on her bio, she had her online engagement in 2021 was 350,000 people a month.
Wow.
So that's pretty amazing.
That's a little more than I do. Yeah, a little. I'm lucky to get like 2 likes on a Facebook post. I mean, if I were real lucky.
Well, yeah, I know. It feels like everything is just like, there's just so much information, people don't know where to go. So I hope you come check out our Facebook pages, and Scott does an amazing job. We have a lot of good content on there.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about my own Facebook pages, my personal ones. No, we do much better on the Illinois Green Party. Those are doing fine. But yeah, please go check out all the socials. We got 2 Facebook pages, Instagram, YouTube is ours, and Twitter and TikTok. So, and now we're on Blue Sky. We started on Blue Sky. So everyone who's over there, go check us out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's going to be a few more minutes. She's like, everybody's got kids in their life, but while you're there, please like and subscribe and share. So there's been a lot going on. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm having trouble keeping up. I've got whiplash from everything.
It is difficult. It is really difficult to keep up. I mean, and you see the bombs that Trump is throwing for domestic issues. It's just horrible. And then on the other side, he's like in peace talks with Putin. I mean, it's incredible. It's like I have to give it to the guy at the speed at which he's working. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That I saw there were large protests in New York today for the Trump agenda, and yeah, as there should. I was kind of half joking with someone who I said, well, I mean, okay, the right wing, they did their January 6th. The left wing, let's see, right? And I'm a big fan of this podcast called Revolutions, and I would highly recommend it. Anybody go check it out. And so he does like most of the major revolutions, and so he did the French Revolution. And the interesting thing about the French, if you don't know, I mean, it was my first time really going in depth.
Besides the guillotines.
It was, well, yeah, it was invented right before the revolution. That was invented. And the cool thing about that was that it was done as kind of a human rights thing. Like it was a positive. It was kind of a left-wing thing because there'd be less pain in the execution. But anyway, no, my point was that there was like a right-wing revolution and then a left-wing revolution, and then a right-wing, I don't know, revolution, I'm sorry, but a riot, a left-wing riot, a right-wing riot, back, forth. So, it might be the left wing's time here
Exactly.
for a riot.
Our guest is here. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, you're sounding good.
I can't hear you though.
Oh, really?
I can't hear anything.
Uh-oh.
My microphone just says X.
Ooh.
We can hear you just fine.
I have no idea what's going on.
It's probably your
just has an X over it.
Your output. I don't know. If you need to go out and come back.
But I enabled the sound. That's why I should have been here 15 minutes earlier. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. We're good.
Oh my goodness. Come on.
It's a miracle that I make it. I usually jump in the shower.
Like I see you perfectly. Like I see you. Let me try. Let me do.
Okay. Yeah, we'll let her get her tech stuff together. Yeah, tech is so tricky in this StreamYard world. We're on StreamYard, and it's tricky. I just got this like pro mic here. I mean, I'm a musician, by trade. So I had a lot of this equipment, but it's tricky when you're trying to set stuff up. It can be difficult.
Oh yeah. And technology keeps like expanding, and it feels like, I mean, everything goes to the air. I wonder how much room is in the air anymore. Maybe they're just like bumping into each other.
Right.
I don't know.
No, it's true.
I
No,
have
but
no idea.
I mean, things are like I was talking about. I mean, things are fascinating because the domestic stuff is just an absolute nightmare. But at least in
Yeah.
the Ukraine front, things seem really positive. And like even Hegseth, I mean, the nightmare that he is, he made a really good point that we don't want a third negotiation to happen. And the interesting thing about that was, the mainstream press never talked about the two peace talks that happened
Well,
before, right?
it's, it's
They,
kind of admitting that the United States was going after Russia and using Ukraine as their, proxy.
well,
Proxy
it
war.
was Britain that blew up the second one. I know that, but
Oh yeah, that
the,
idiot. What was that guy's name?
yeah. Oh my God.
Uh,
Oh, we could check in the
Boris
comments.
Johnson.
Boris Johnson. There you go.
Boris Johnson.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, the mainstream press, just like they said, unprovoked, 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 every time they talk about Russia's invasion, they also said that, Putin never wanted a peace deal. Well, the records are there that he actually was trying. So now we actually have a president that's willing to do it. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It's early.
Despite the
It's early.
many drawbacks that, I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, right?
There you go.
What's up?
Hey,
Mr.
how's it
Let's
going?
Talk Lake County.
Right. Yes. Let's definitely talk Lake County. All right. Speaking of Lake County, yes, we will have a candidate for U.S. Congress in Lake County, Alexandria, Kidding Sofiakis. So we're getting things together. So we'll, it's not, I guess, not official, but we're working on getting things together. So we'll make that announcement for Alexandria. Very excited. I want to work with her on that campaign. That'll be a great one. And I guess I can announce that we're having the spring convention for the Illinois Green Party at the Sulzer Library at 4544 North Lincoln. And that's Saturday, April 26th. It's free admission. It's open to the public. So if you're in the area, you want to come out and check out the Illinois Green Party and what we're doing. I mean, that stuff will be like, very businessy, official stuff. We're doing
35,
elections.
34? 35,
34? Oh, 4455 North Lincoln. Not even close.
55.
They will be way down the street. Where is this place? Sulzer Library.
Doesn't exist.
Right. Sulzer Library. Yeah, Saturday, April 26th. So and we're gonna have workshops like petitioning workshops, and there's gonna be presentations from people in the Green Party. And so it should be good. It's yeah, we're getting things moving, and especially because we're getting ready for 2026 and the statewide candidates that we have or that we're looking for. If anyone's interested, we still have positions that we're
thinking about.
And well, yeah, we're going to run a number of candidates. So
okay. Oh, which one? Let's see. Hang on. I think we got the problem fixed. Can you hear me now? We can hear her, but we can't see her.
Yeah. Don't worry, Leteria.
Technology.
I used to have terrible problems. Every time I came in, I just had this weird echo and like multiple echoes and coming like 6 seconds later. And I'd have to leave and come back in. So, oh yeah, StreamYard issues.
Well, she said I can hear now, but now we don't see her.
Well, we could still, can you?
Yeah.
No, she's going to try one more time.
One more time.
Yeah.
Third time's charm. Let's go.
Yes.
Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Okay. Nice.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yes, I'm in.
Yay. And that's fine, Leteria, because we got all of our business out of the way, all this stuff going on with the Illinois Green Party. So, no, that was great.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. And last
so
thing,
nice
though, I wanted to mention that we're going to go to Wednesdays in March. So welcome, Leteria. Yeah,
yes, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Of course. I was so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm glad I worked out my technical issues.
Yes. Well, actually, when I found out that you were the social media director for Jill Stein campaign, I was like, oh my God, do I want to talk to her? Because
Okay.
I was so impressed. I truly, 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 I was really
Thank you.
impressed. I mean,
So
you guys,
wait, I do have to make a correction
okay.
because I was not the social media director.
Oh, I'm
We
sorry.
did have a social media director,
Okay.
but I was the social media manager
Okay.
for Instagram and Facebook in particular.
Excellent.
Because when you work with such a large brand, they have so many different platforms.
Yeah.
You know that it takes a legit team of people to make it happen. So
Yes.
Just be able to touch
it was
every
good to be a
group.
part of an amazing team. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So, I think you did an amazing job. The whole team did an amazing job.
Absolutely.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
So,
I truly believe the third parties overall were underrated in just how much genuine engagement we got from everyday people and people just being politically active for the first time in a really long time.
Right.
And I'm very proud of that. You know, like I had never seen other political campaigns or politicians um do what Jill Stein did with her platform. So
Mm,
I was super grateful to be a part of that. And really, it felt like we made history with that. Um,
absolutely.
we didn't
it,
win, but we won in so many ways, you know?
We really did. Absolutely. And
you,
I just saw that both New York and Illinois did not get the ballot access, so we had writing campaigns, and they had just announced that in New York it was the second highest writing campaign in New York history.
Wow.
So theirs was very successful too. We had 32,000 here, and so we did really, really well because it's really hard with a writing campaign. It's
Yeah.
just, it's difficult, but
yeah, for people
That's
that don't know, a writing
impressive.
campaign it's word of mouth, it's social media, it's emails, it's texts, it's telling your friends. Like that's the only way it gets
Yes.
done. And to be able to write it down the exact right way, we had to tell everybody it's Rudolph Ware, not Butch. I know he goes by
Right. Not Butch Ware.
yeah,
And some people, had like, I mean, the way the campaign came together, really, to me, it was amazing for lack of better terms,
yeah,
because we had all the ballot access issues, so that ended up meaning that we had to, it was crunch time in certain states, so certain states had different names, like, and we had people messaging us like, who the hell is LeBeau,
oh, yeah,
but LeBeau was one of the people on the campaign who, I guess in the heat of things, they had to use his name to get it done. But
mm,
that just goes to show
right,
you the hoops that third parties have to
mm,
jump through just to get their politicians on ballots.
it's
It's
brutal,
ridiculous.
brutal, brutal, brutal. Yeah, I know. We had such a difficult time here. And, ours has the extra step of getting a notary, which
Nice.
on each sheet, which is it's just this extra step for volunteers. It's really, really asking a lot of them to do this. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a rough process, but I just was so impressed. And especially, I'm sure you saw that too. I think with younger people getting more involved, you
Yes.
really saw the effect. And I'm sure you saw on
I
Instagram,
did.
Jill Stein was
Gen Z is
flying.
not to be
She
messed with.
she was flying. And it's funny how, I know from working on Illinois Green Party and my own personal things on Facebook, even though it has a better system of mechanism set up, you can do links to other places, you can have events, there's so much you can do on Facebook, but
Yeah,
trying to get the word out is rough on Facebook
it
Yeah.
is.
because the audience is just it's an older audience.
Facebook has
And
the most trolls, if you ask me. Like, seriously.
Hey, we have
Wait,
a comment.
more
We
than
have a comment
Twitter?
from X.
Are you sure?
Hey, you all. We have a
Yes.
comment from X.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if we have an answer for this. Who's going to run for Greens in 2028? As I got a few people follow me claiming to be the next runner.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
So maybe
like
she
well,
should
who?
tell us.
right. Let us know. Fill us in.
You
We don't.
you know more than we do.
Hey, send them our way. You never know.
Now, of course, the
We do
big
know that Butch Ware is
right.
running in
That's
California
Our
the
governor.
governor. So
2026.
that's
Right
the
now,
big
we are
campaign.
like focused on 2026
Right.
in Illinois to get 5% of the governor's race in 2026 means that we will have a much easier time getting on the ballot in
Come
2028. So it's
2028.
kind of
Right.
like
Yeah.
a building up too.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I
Leteria,
think
we
it's
also
so
have to wish
important that y'all are keeping the momentum going in Illinois.
Yeah.
Like it didn't stop after the election. This is actually, part of all of our civic duty is to demand more of the government, demand more of these politicians, and demand more of our community leaders.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
part of life at this point.
And again, congrats to you because I keep
Thank
saying this
you.
I keep saying over and over that the Jill Stein campaign is why the Illinois Green Party is growing in every single
Yes.
state. It's
Mhm.
because of her campaign. She got the word out, the message was out. I mean,
Yes.
her appearance with Butch on the Breakfast Club, I mean, that's a historical
Woo!
piece.
I'm so glad you brought that up
Oh
because
my
there's
God.
still memes happening to this day from from that whole conversation. Because, I mean, to me, it made it so clear that there are props and people put in place in the media. Because if I was hearing the things that Dr. Stein was saying, as someone that was sitting on the receiving end, I would not have had the reaction that Angela Rye had. It was like totally um uh defensive. I'm like, why are we attacking someone that we asked to interview, someone that people are literally telling you they want in office, you
Right.
know? And so I feel like she was unfairly attacked. I feel like Butch Ware was also unfairly attacked. It was a lot of just nitpicking and a whole lot of word salads. And then they threw in that gotcha moment, that, oh, you don't
Right.
know how many people are in the Senate. Well, I'm pretty sure she didn't know that either, because as we know, these things change depending on each it's not like the same when you look at it on Google. It may have changed, so that whole gotcha moment, it was just also
Well,
And
yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, and she was sitting there with her laptop, knowing the answer, being all. I mean,
right.
I
well,
knew,
and
but
to
All matter
me,
of factly,
I have a weirdly mind about like those little figures that I learned in like grade school or whatever. Like they just stuck. I don't know why, but
right.
well,
uh,
and the weird, the
I-
really, really interesting thing about that is what they were trying to attack on was all such surface, unimportant things.
Yes.
yeah,
And what did
Yes.
Jill and Butch bring? They brought content, they brought strong positions, really strong, like reparations, like cash, like
Yes.
they were giving it.
Yes.
And all
yeah.
these people
Healthcare.
all they could do is just sit there and kind of try to come up with it. But again, it just points perfectly to how the Democrats are so empty. They
Well,
have
they're
They
nothing
surface.
to
do nothing
offer.
Democrats.
They
Do
have
nothing
nothing,
Democrats.
nothing
Yeah,
to offer. And they can
yeah.
only pretend and look right. But yeah, there's no substance there. And that's when they're confronted with substance, they can't take it.
No.
They get
The
kind of mad.
gaslighting begins. The
Yep.
gaslighting begins.
So
And I definitely think that it, just bringing it back to media and from what I saw, because I see how many of these companies are bought off. Like things that should have been reported about the Jill Stein campaign, like headlines, different headlines that were being made, maybe on smaller news networks, but the larger ones refused to give them like any type of airtime,
right.
because clearly these people are bought off. They're paid off.
Mm-hmm.
They spent millions of dollars on an ad, against Jill Stein. Would think of what they could have did with that money
Yeah.
versus wasting money doing an attack ad on the only person fighting for literal human rights.
Right. I
Andy,
did. Hang
go
on,
ahead.
Scott. Hang on. So, Ashley on X said Randy Toller. Does anybody know who that is?
Oh, that's a familiar name.
Yeah, and here's the X account, and
We'll have to
then
look them up. Yeah.
then Orlando
the name is
Johnson says,
familiar.
"Go Green 2025."
Yes.
Green Party Credentials Committee, California in the house.
Yes.
So
Excellent.
I'm assuming you're going to get Birchware elected, right?
Yes. Go for it. Yay. Oh my God, we're getting a lot of
And then Ashley said,
shout outs.
does each Green state party have their own leader, or is it just Jill Stein? I'm from the UK, so I'm not sure how it works.
No, Jill Stein is not the leader of the of the Green Party US. No, she just ran for office, and for that, yeah, there is no official leader.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
That's America.
Yeah.
No, what happened?
Oh, you can't hear us anymore?
We were doing so well.
Ah, okay. Hey,
can you hear me now?
Yes,
we can hear you.
Say hi, kiddos. The kids are back now.
Hey.
What's up, kids?
Hey.
Yeah, these were my favorite little two co-creators during the campaign.
Oh, excellent.
They were very informed about Jill Stein.
Yay, Jill Stein. Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Would you vote for Jill Stein if you could vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
All right, now go play.
So each state has their chair, and they have their own state party. I mean, and whoever they have elected, there's the most Greens elected in California.
Yes.
It is the biggest state.
It is.
But there's 161 Greens elected across the country.
Yeah.
So don't think we're just like, every 4 years like a mushroom. That's not true.
No.
Yeah,
we run
definitely
candidates.
Not true.
Yeah, we run candidates every single year.
Hmm.
And, for the smaller offices, a lot of them are nonpartisan. So that's why you don't get the publicity, because a lot of the smaller races, it's not Green Party on the ballot, but there are people who are Green Party affiliated.
Yeah, I don't think the 161 is nonpartisan. I don't know, though. Maybe that's something I need to look into.
Oh, no, those are partisan races. Those 161 were Green Party on the ballot. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, one thing I really enjoyed about, being behind the scenes on her socials was seeing the genuine support from each state. Because and then there would be multiple in different states that were like being active and showing up to events, volunteering. Some even go into different states, like Ariel, for example, who I met in North Carolina, and like, I mean, to meet people who were just equally as committed as me to just wanting to really give everything, because we're so desperate for a change, like,
yes.
It was just good to see that kind of passion and humanity, both behind the screen and just in person at these events. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I just thought was so incredible to watch, Jill, was the way she won over folks in the YouTube world, the kind of space that we're in. To see Sabby Sabs really come on board strong, and Brianna Joy Gray come on really strong. They weren't at first. They weren't even so sure about the Green Party or anything. And we even got Nick Cruz, who was not the, he's a hard sell.
And do dissidents.
And do dissidents. They did.
Yeah.
They did, actually.
So we have a couple more questions. I can't message X, or else I would message this lady. Has the Greens over the pond ever thought of doing work with Cornish Welsh Greens before? I know we have an international team, but that's above my pay grade.
I know that Howie Hawkins is on a tour of Europe, so I'm not sure, because he is doing on his podcast, he's interviewing different people. So I know there are connections. There are definitely connections.
So go to gp.org. I bet there's something on there. I know Howie Hawkins has his own podcast.
Yeah.
Our very own Chris, that's part of Illinois, is like producing for that.
Yeah.
And Ariel is our producer, but he's on the road today because we're going to go to Seattle.
For the workers' strike
for
back.
the workers strike back on
Yes.
February 21st, this Saturday. So
Yes.
excited. It's going to be Jill Stein, Butch Ware, Chris Hedges, and Shama Sawant.
Yes.
And that's like my dream team. I got to go see that.
And Edie will be getting interviews, and we're going to be broadcasting them here. I don't know if we're going to be able to do live. We're kind of new to this scene, but we're going to at least, show them later if we can't get it live. But we're going to try. We're going to try.
Well, back to you, Miss. Am I saying your name right, Leteria?
Yes, Leteria. Yep.
Leteria. Okay. So you also founded your own media company, Airetel Media. You're the founder and CEO. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Of course I do. Of course. Shameless plug.
Yes.
So, funny story just about how I started on the Jill Stein campaign was I run a social justice platform on Instagram called Young Black and Aware. That's the shirt I'm wearing. You can't really see
Nice.
it, but
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
and it was on Young Black and Aware that I started noticing more people paying attention to the Green Party, more people bringing up Jill Stein and just what she was trying to do with this campaign. And I really started paying attention after Butch Ware got nominated to the party. I saw the diversity. I saw, how they were speaking up for humanity. And that was really what brought me towards the Green Party. Because, like everyone else, I had just given up hope on politics in general, you know. But because the Democrats continuing to push Joe Biden forward was really disappointing because he is not well for office. And
No.
I'm like, I have all these people looking at me telling me that he is well, and I'm saying that he's not well. It's giving like, don't put our hope in these systems. So when I saw what the Jill Stein campaign was doing, I reached out to them. And asked if they were looking for like any support, right, with
Wow.
digital media. So I definitely shooted my shot. And they were like, and at that point
They're
we had
like,
been
come on down.
collaborating. We had been collaborating on posts, and I was already organically sharing my support for the campaign.
Yeah.
So they did end up having like an opening for a role. So I ended up starting on the campaign in the last 2 months of the
Wow.
campaign.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So it was like the tail end, but it was crunch time, as you guys know. It was
Oh.
it was like a crazy 2 months. And on my first day, actually my aunt passed away, and that was
Oh.
Oh
like
my goodness.
honestly, it was, to me, it was a sign from God um to just go really hard with this whole thing and just put my everything into it, because my aunt was one of my biggest supporters. And so once starting and um getting more exposure into the Green Party and seeing, how many people were authentically supporting Green Party, I was more inspired to begin diving into creating more content, creating more media, because I was seeing that our voices were being pushed out of media. So ideally, I created Airetel Media in 2021 to do branding and marketing for small businesses and entrepreneurs. But I would
Excellent.
say after the campaign, I find that my audience is more aligned with people that are community leaders, activists, people really leaning towards making a change,
Mm-hmm.
whatever
Can
that
I
might
can I
look
ask
like.
you a question? It might be a little saucy if you don't mind,
Sure,
but
ask me a
Oh.
saucy
Woo.
question.
what did you think about Reverend Al Sharpton taking everybody to Costco or wherever he took them instead of Target? What do you think
Oh,
about that?
I missed that one, I'm afraid.
Oh my.
To me, listen, I like good on him for doing something because you
Mm-hmm.
know it's better than what most are doing, which is absolutely
That's true.
nothing. But I will say things like that to me are so performative. It's
Yeah,
so like drop in a bucket of water like type of action because I mean what would have been more powerful would have been y'all supporting some black businesses in
yeah.
Black History Month. You
Right,
know, like
right.
that would have been way more powerful, you know. Where you're like, no, we're gonna go to this corporate guy instead. You know, like, come on now. Like,
Yeah,
that's not what revolutionary action and revolutionary change looks like. Now, is that an action? Yes, he did do an action. He brought some people to Costco showing, hey, Target, we're not supporting y'all because clearly y'all don't support us. But, you know, I think with his age and with how long he's been doing this work, I think
Mm-hmm.
it could have been something a little more effective.
yeah,
Small business. Yeah,
Yeah,
like you said,
small
black-owned
businesses,
businesses.
black owned businesses, you know,
Yeah,
something.
that's just like Corporation A for Corporation B is what I
Literally.
felt a little. I felt a little photo op-ish about it.
Yes,
oh
a little
well,
Like,
performative.
that's
Yeah.
Democrats. I mean, that's,
yeah, I
they
know.
take when they took a knee for the photo op. I mean, that was really
Oh my
embarrassing with the
gosh.
Come
Yeah.
kente cloth.
listen.
That was so
I still
Not
embarrassing.
to,
chuckle
not
at
to
that
undermine
photo.
his work that he's done. It's not that. It's like, but in this moment, that's not gonna work out so well.
Right.
No.
In this moment, we need revolutionary actions. I
Right,
think
right.
I think especially people of color have to feel empowered to raise their voices because a lot of people are hiding in plain sight. You
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
like they say one thing, but they're doing another thing. You know,
Absolutely.
it's like we really have to wake up and connect the dots. You know, it's a lot of these politicians that are Democrats that they seem like really good people, but what they're doing in these rooms, these events they're going to, the money they're taking is not making them seem like good people.
No. No, I think, I mean, the shock for me, the ultimate number one shock was watching every Democrat vote to starve and bomb Palestinians. It exposed them. It exposed them for who they really are. I mean, they're good at the performances. There's no doubt. They're good at that stuff. But
Oscar worthy.
yeah.
Can I say my new phrase I invented?
Oh yes.
This is a play on. You remember when Joe Biden was what was he on Breakfast Club or something? I think it was Breakfast Club.
Really?
He's like blah 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 blah. You ain't black if blah 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 blah
Oh,
blah. I can't remember what his
right.
insult was.
You
If you
don't.
don't vote for me, you're not black. Yeah, he
Oh
said
my
that.
God.
And I say, if you voted for a genocide, you ain't left.
Right. Exactly. That's the
Ooh.
thing. I mean, it is that again, the level of evil genius of the Democrats is that they
Mhm.
have turned their followers into like right wingers with diversity. I mean,
Yes.
they are pro war. They are
Yes.
pro genocide. Or if they're not pro genocide, they certainly allow it. They don't want to,
Well,
No,
I'm
they
sorry,
are pro
silence is
genocide. I think
complicity.
let's call a
yeah,
spade, you
right.
know?
No, no, no. I mean, right. In terms of voting,
They've decided that's not a red line for them, you
yeah,
know?
Exactly.
right.
Like
Exactly.
and I mean, I think we read things like me, I look at history a lot. I consider myself a historian because I like to document things and I like to look back at history. And historically, I think you'll see that if you follow the money, you can see the intentions.
Right.
Where most of the money came from in the 2024 elections was APAC.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we see the kinds of things that APAC has supported
Right.
historically,
Right.
which are not good things.
No.
It American politicians are bought and paid for, and we allowed that with the passing of help
Citizens
me out,
United.
guys.
Citizens
Yep.
United.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, and it's like I don't know how as Americans we sit here and let this happen. I can't take responsibility because I was just a young person when these kinds of things happened. You
Right.
know, I'm now just dealing with the repercussions as an adult.
Yeah.
Right.
And now I'm like, who the hell let this happen? You
Right.
know?
And you know the Trump bombs that are going on, it's a really good example of, think about what the Democrats did when they got into power. And that's both Obama and Clinton and Biden.
Yep.
They just got real quiet.
They
Yep.
They
dusted
got
off the
real quiet.
they dusted off the parliamentarian. Nobody ever
Yep.
talked
Well,
Medicare for all.
Obama wasn't
They
that
got.
quiet.
The
He
15
dropped a
dollar
couple drones in
Sorry?
Syria.
Oh yes, no. Around the world, he did plenty of violence.
Obama was actually the king
Biden. Oh yeah.
deporter,
Oh God.
according to stats. You
He
know,
was
Right.
deporter in chief, and he dropped so many bombs that they ran out.
But what I mean by quiet is Medicare for all, minimum wage,
right?
abortion rights. They could have codified that 3 times.
They could have been done that if they wanted to do it.
And
I mean, I think the Democrats are like, if they wanted to, they would. Embodied. That's them.
and the other
That's
amazing thing is, who stopped the Democrats when they were in power? The Democrats.
Yeah.
Yep, it was
Yeah.
the 2, Manchin and Sinema. Oh no, Manchin and Sinema
Yeah,
destroyed
what are
our
they doing in that
chances.
party? They're
What are
Republican.
they? Yeah, and that's why they're there. That is
yeah.
why they're there. The
They're the
Democratic
foil.
Party supported them to the umpteenth. They
Yeah.
made sure that they had Democrats who could destroy anything progressive.
Now, literally, like when the whole Liz Cheney endorsement came, right?
Oh,
Because I damn
wow.
near flipped my table at that point. I mean, I was done with them, but I was like, are we being serious right now?
Right. And again, you just saw all these Democratic supporters just sit there in silence and say
Yep,
nothing
and they
because.
clapped and they liked the post.
Well, that's
and
true.
They,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
they supported it blindly. And to me, honestly, it was very eye-opening. This whole election was eye-opening beyond just the political level, right?
Yes.
Right.
Because when people's lives are involved, when I'm having comrades that are being directly affected by things going on, you know, for example, the genocide in Congo, right? And then I know that companies like Tesla are behind this kind of genocide, this kind of ongoing slavery that's happening. And then Tesla CEO has the biggest influence on American politics. You know, it's just like it's mind blowing when you think about how deeply connected it all is, and it's rooted in a lot of evil that, you know, I think it's going to take a lot of healing work for us to come to the table together, because it's going to be traumatic work. This work is
Yeah.
not going to be easy. It has not been easy.
Our
You know?
country is traumatized
Oh
by
my
all
God.
this. I mean, they've been propagandized. I mean, I've been propagandized
Yes.
my whole life. The
Yes.
first time I got laid off was under the Clinton administration. And I was like, I thought he was a Democrat. Why did I just lose my job?
Right.
And then, you know, in 2000 I voted for Nader because he had an article in Rolling Stone about him. I'm like, and I found out he was going to be on C-SPAN, but then they went away from where he was getting ready to speak to go watch George W. Bush's workout room without George Bush in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so, well, you know, I'm the kind of American that says, oh, I can't, so I want to do it extra.
Right.
We do have a comment, though. I don't want to like miss him.
Yes, we have a comment.
Our producer's not here today, so we have to make
We're
do.
winging it.
You
Yeah.
guys are
Florida-
doing great.
Thank you.
Florida's environment and Gulf is being thoroughly degraded. Maybe you can make tiny headwise by pushing environmental consciousness. I was visited by Greenpeace, AQS, longest. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, that was another thing I wanted to bring up is when you're talking about the trauma. I mean, 12 people died this weekend from floods, and it didn't even make the news. I mean,
Wow.
it's like the trauma.
Where was this, in Florida?
I think Kentucky, mostly Tennessee, some. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't even make the news, and a dozen people die. It's just, I mean, things are getting really, really
Yeah.
bad in
It's
this
getting
country.
dire. Get to know your neighbors, people. Like,
Oh,
that's really my advice to people. Like, we need to know who the heck we're around because, like,
Mhm.
times are honestly, I feel like we're in a time where we just don't know. Like, with this kind of leadership, quote unquote leadership,
oh my God.
running the country, doing these backdoor deals, we really don't know what the heck is going on.
No, the fallout is going to be extreme for what he's doing because there's no doubt. Yeah, he drops the
Well,
bomb, and then they bring in privatization. That's what it's
if
gonna.
I can share a couple of things that happened in my community, I live in Carbondale, Illinois.
Yeah.
On Saturday we had a people's assembly. There were like about 10 to 12 organizations that came together. We had at least 100 people there. It was in a church. It was just like, our community coming together. It was like immigrants' rights and our Unitarian church and a voter registration and the local DSA and Sierra Club and Shawnee Greens, which was us, and the Peace Coalition. It was just like all this synergy. And we did this, the healing stick where you get to pass it around and everybody say what's on their mind and how they're feeling. And wow, I had no idea what I was going to say until I said it. I said, I'm really angry and kind of excited too. Like, I'm really angry about what's going on, but I'm excited for how much we can change.
Yeah.
Like this room,
That sounds
seeing all these
beautiful.
people come together just like filled me up in a way that I didn't know was possible. And even a couple of our city council members were there.
Yeah.
So,
You know what? You just re-inspired me because Andy,
You're welcome.
Andy Ellis from
Yes, Andy, Maryland. Yes.
Maryland. Yes, he's been telling me to start a Green Party chapter in Frederick, Maryland, and
Oh.
I've been hesitant to do it only because I'm just like, I don't want to plan all these things and then people just don't show up.
You know,
It takes a lot of time and energy.
you,
It does.
but the cool thing now is with Zoom, it's pretty easy, especially with Zoom. You could just, you get
Yes,
3 people together and you got a Green Party chapter. And
right.
the good thing about that, as I'm an organizer for the Illinois Green Party, so that's kind of one of the things is my goal is to get more chapters. And
Yes,
the good thing about that is it invites somebody in the area to join, and it
Mhm.
gets, when it's more local, it's a closer group. We have Illinois Green Party meetings and they're all business things and they're all official, but the chapters, that's where, people meet each other, and it's that chapters are wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, and that's how you get to know your neighbors too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of people that
right.
wear like different group hats,
Yes.
It's
So
true. And I think I learned that leading with a political party is not the way to go. Like maybe it's like a community meeting, right? That's like secretly a Green Party meeting. But
Well,
so we're just
like, do you know the
you know,
handshake? No.
well, what I wanted to say was that I think that what the Green Party needs to do, actually, it's kind of funny. I'm from the LGBT community, and my experience, the most important thing in my life was coming out. It was the hardest thing I'd done. I did it at 24. I presented myself to my parents, and it was a really difficult thing. And that's what the Green Party people need to do. They need to come out because we need to be
come out.
seen. Yes, come out of come out of that political closet because we need to be
No,
seen.
Scott,
We need
that needs to be on a shirt somewhere. We're putting that on a shirt. Come out
Okay,
of that
write that down,
political
Scott.
closet. You hate it there.
It's
Stop.
like, what, be seen being green. We do say that.
right,
Be
we
seen being
do.
green.
Yes. But seriously, it's because, and the funny thing, I was at a meeting. I had no idea there's an anti-BDS law in Illinois. I had no idea. And so I went to that meeting and I get there and I realize, oh crap, I didn't wear anything Green Party. That's like, I mean, because it's my goal to be more visible, to
Yes.
be in people's faces so that they can become familiar. Because we get that argument, and I know a lot of trolls and paid people do that argument, but they say, the Green Party, they just show up every 4 years. Well, if we are all out there in green merch and talking and being visible,
Mm-hmm.
they can't say that anymore because they're going to see us
Yeah.
all over the place. Because we're
And
out there at the protests and all that, but a lot of times people don't see
Yeah.
us.
Go ahead,
yeah,
Leteria.
I was gonna say, actually one of my good comrades that I met a few months ago, I met because I had on my Jill Stein shirt. It was like, but it's bright green, so you can't miss it.
Right.
And I really do think it is great branding. And I want people watching this, or thinking about joining the Green Party or even organizing, to know that you don't need permission to lead.
That's
Like,
right.
if you want to get up and make some shirts, like I had some shirts made at the mall during the campaign. I spent like $25 at the mall to get a shirt made, because I'm like, I want to make my own shirt. I want to represent what I'm doing. And so we got to feel empowered to do stuff like that. Like,
Yes.
I'm sure we all know someone with a Cricut, or with the the thing that you can iron on. Like, we got to get creative and start putting ourselves out there in marketing.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
when during the campaign, a lot of people changed their profiles to green, me included. I
Yes.
had changed my profile green for like the first time ever, like
Mm-hmm. Me
the
too.
little Abby. And I think, like, doing campaigns like that, like, what this month we all doing this, with, like, it's something like, maybe it's a fist in the middle because it's Black History Month this month,
Yes.
or
Yes.
like different things, because guess what, there's stuff happening all the freaking time.
Mm.
There's no shortage of marketing opportunities,
Yeah.
none.
Yeah, that's
It's just
absolutely
about
I
true.
showing
I
up and
what
being
the
a leader.
one thing I loved that Butch Ware
What's up,
said.
Soccer's here? Sorry.
Hey,
Soccer's here. What's
hey,
up, Soccer?
hey. One thing that I
Hey,
love that
soccer.
Butch Ware said recently, he goes, when I'm in the Green Party, there's always got to be that red and black there. And it was like, yes, yes, we have to represent in so many different ways. And I wanted
Yes.
to make one comment about a comment I saw in the chat, and it's somebody who recommended dropping the T from LGBT, that would help the Green Party. Never, never will that happen. And
Well,
again,
excuse me.
I know, and the one thing that people need to understand, and that's it's because, again, like I said, the hardest thing I ever did was coming out. And I can't even imagine what goes through a person who is trans, who has to come out as trans, and the pain they went through. And when they transition, the joy they have in life. I mean, I can't even begin to express my love for trans folks. And
Right.
they are so important to our country because
Trans
they
people
do.
are people too. You cannot erase human beings, no matter
Right.
what.
And
You
and
know.
again, I feel sad when people don't understand it's a personal thing, and it's a personal journey that someone goes through. Coming out for me was a personal journey, and it's really important. Recognize the individual in the trans movement. Recognize the individual. It's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are for everyone,
Yes,
That
and you
part.
decide who you want to be in your life. That
absolutely.
bodily autonomy, like that
Yes,
comes for all kinds of things. Like
yes,
it comes
You
for
know.
everything. This is what you have
I've
control
always
over.
thought maybe people would feel more comfortable if we just threw like an S on there, like for straight people. Like, should we just
they
throw
can
an
join
S
in,
on
of course.
LGBTQ?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we don't
Just
want to
add
let.
an S so everyone feels included.
Maybe we just need to make it
Exactly.
get all the letters together and make a word.
Oh,
Okay,
We don't have
because
any
at the end
vowels.
of the day, to me, comments like that are just, I don't even want to say hateful, because it's ignorance. Because honestly, what would that do for us?
yeah.
What would that
Well,
do
I
for
know.
it's
us? Making other
discrimination.
people feel like their existence is problematic to us. That is not what we support in the Green Party.
I
That's not
have
what
two
I
personal
support.
friends that are trans, and I love them both dearly. So,
Same
no.
here. I have a friend that's trans, and she honestly she changed my
Oh, sweet.
perspective on everything. She
Hmm.
educated me about her life experiences. Some people, ignorance really is bliss, right? Because you don't know a trans person, and the same could be said for like diversity, because
Mm.
that is diversity, including all people.
Yeah.
But it's not to say just because I haven't met someone and don't know their personal story, I don't respect them. That's not how this works.
And
Right.
it's
And we don't, put party before people.
Right.
right.
That part.
This is not the Democrats
Absolutely.
and this is not the
Next
Republicans,
question.
okay? Just saying.
Yes. And a lot can be said too in terms of the Palestine struggle. Why do we care so much? Because they are human beings. We care about humans. That's
Yes,
right.
doctor.
Yeah, it's called compassion.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You don't need
I
it
don't
to
think.
affect you directly to have it, affect you.
Yes.
But do
That's
you know, it's funny you said compassion because I just recently shared something about a social experiment that was done in Harvard back no, Harvard or Yale back in the 60s. And it was they were basically two people. They were both volunteers. One was a teacher and one was like a student. And they had this science experiment. But one was a paid actor, right? There was really only one person not in on it, like the person that was increasing the pain limit. And they had predicted that like only like 2% of people were gonna like actually go all the way. How about 67% of the participants went all the way up to the point where it was lethal, right?
Mm.
Despite hearing all the screams, despite the man like stop, I don't know. Like, and so what that tells us socially is, we really wish the best. We want the best
Yeah.
in people,
Right. Right.
but sometimes it is not there, and you have to dig deep to get to that. It's not at that surface layer that we would assume in humanity, because if people could just do something like that in an experiment, imagine what they would do in real life.
Mm. Yeah.
well,
Absolutely.
and it's that removal. Wasn't it like a button or something? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of the problem with the war today. It's too easy to kill people.
Oh,
It
Yeah,
is
God.
way too
it's like
easy.
the game that my son plays in there,
Yeah. Oh, God. You're
Yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
And it looks more and more real all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I could like watching what he plays. I don't know what it is, but because I'm not a gamer, but I'm like that could
Call
be
of
real.
Duty.
It's probably it's going through people's houses and like neighborhoods. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my God.
I don't support none of those games. I'm sorry, I just hate it. It's just too real to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. When it gets scary.
it gets a little
He-
scary.
our Chaz Burns guy, our
Oh,
little,
no. He said some really awful stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
It's
just
really bad.
said it's not discrimination, but it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's judging others and denying them the freedom to be who they want.
Right.
That is judgmental. It is discrimination. And Zucker has a
He had a
comment as
great,
well.
yeah, there it is.
Hang
Yes.
on. Scott, hang on. The trans community should always feel safe in the Green Party. We have plenty of room at the table for everyone, especially
Yes.
those that have been othered by the broader liberal community. Yeah,
Yes.
let's throw an S on
Yes.
it.
Yes.
And
Yes. Literally, Zucker, you put the cherry on top of what we just said, because
Yeah.
that's the bottom line. There's room for everyone.
there is. And if you can't see that, I mean, how are they hurting you? I don't understand.
Right.
Because
Right.
they're making you uncomfortable. Like, get over yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
and they need to
Yeah.
make a few trans friends and then
Yeah.
see how that goes, because I mean,
There's-
once you know trans folks, you're like,
Yeah.
you can't.
Come on.
Yeah.
Somebody's living in the 70s. I don't know.
Somewhere. They're living somewhere.
Something. I mean, and
But-
that section of society has always existed. So
Oh God, of course.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
saying that, because I hate to hear oh, this stuff never happened back in my day. No, back in your day, it was not safe for someone to be transparent in themselves. It's still not safe to date, right?
Right.
It's literally taking a risk just trying to be yourself as a
Yes.
trans person
Right.
in America. So I don't even think people can wrap their mind around what you were speaking about earlier, Scott, which is the coming out piece,
Hmm.
the being comfortable enough to just show up as yourself in this world. And to
Yes.
me,
Yeah, and
trans
everybody has that
people,
journey
yeah, trans
of a
people are
different
some of the
kind.
boldest people ever. And
Mm.
Hmm.
like a lot of y'all could never, respectfully.
Yeah,
You can
Absolutely.
never live in your truth that way. So
Chaz, you just gotta like move on, because if you don't want to be here, that's fine. We're not making you be here.
No, no,
You know.
no. You know
You-
that.
yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was just going to say, again, it's funny how often it comes back to what is the Green Party. The Green Party
Hmm.
is just about people. I
Yeah.
mean, those others that took a lot of money and now they put on a face pretending to be something that they're not.
yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
we
AOC.
right, AOC Pelosi. Yeah, cough, cough. AOC Pelosi, that's for sure.
What do
But
you think of my spicy comment, Ping Pong?
but no, I mean, really, it's just for people, and
Mhm.
we love people, all people,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's why we're doing this. That's why we have the political perspectives we have. It's all humanity based perspective. That's all it
Yes.
is. That's
Yes.
all it is.
I did want to mention something really quickly. So Friday, February 28th, if you go to ilgp.org on our events, we're having a free screening of the documentary Healing Us. We had Kenny Ballantyne and Dr. Joe Jarvis on a few weeks back. If you
They were
haven't
the
checked that out,
director
it is
and
an
producer.
amazing
Nice.
show.
Oh God.
And I found my way through and talked them into re-upping it for public screenings until 2030.
Yes.
So anyone can go watch it for $1.50, but we hope you join us on February 28th. And there'll be a Zoom link after you sign up, there'll be a Zoom link for you to join us for discussion. Because once you watch that movie, you're going to want to talk to someone. I'm telling you, the healthcare industry it's an industry. It's there to make money. It's not there for care.
Literally.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
and to hear these people's stories. One person in
Mm.
particular that I met through the March for Medicare for All. His story is just horrific. What happened to his son? Over $20. A $20 copay
Right.
cost his
And
son his life.
because it was one of
That's
those
crazy.
medications. Well, it's one of those medications where if you go off it instantly, you have suicidal tendencies. And
Wow.
because he missed the copay by a day, they cut him off. And so he couldn't get that medicine. Sure enough, he committed suicide.
Yep.
That is
Oh,
heartbreaking.
it's horrible.
Wow. No,
Yeah.
and you know what? I'll be very honest with you. Over the past month, I've spoken to maybe 5 different Black women in particular who have shared their just stories about their interactions with the healthcare system and how they're being ignored,
Mm,
how they're being mistreated, how they're literally just not being listened to. One of my friends, it was about her ADHD medication, which has been taking 2 years for them to prescribe it to her,
mm,
right? Like she's literally been going, I don't want to say going crazy, but like when you have ADHD and you're unmedicated, it can become really overwhelming and
right.
anxious, you
Yeah.
know?
Hmm.
And so I'm like, and then if you, the position she's in life, she's a very, decorated professional.
Mm,
So I'm like, if you're having to jump through hoops like this, imagine us everyday regular, citizens.
right.
We don't have a chance.
Right.
We don't stand a
and
single
what's
chance against
yeah.
this healthcare system. And it is
Right.
time we stand up to them. Now, I'm not saying the Luigi way, but we need to stand up to them. Not
And
the Luigi way.
and we
Yeah.
need a Jill Stein who on day one of their presidency would declare a health emergency and
Mhm.
and get rid of the age requirement for Medicare just as a basic, just a start,
Yeah.
Let's just
right?
do it.
Just do
It's
it.
a system that
Day
already
one.
exists. And what started me on this again today, part of the reason I was a little late popping on here, so I was kind of glad you weren't early. Because I'm
Yes.
arguing on YouTube because they're talking about cutting Medicaid.
I know.
And I'm
Oh
like,
my
this is the
God.
wrong conversation.
Oh my
Universal health
God.
care is cheaper and it will not deny your care that your doctor says that you need. 70,000 people minimum die every year from lack of care. And then there's those that won't go to the doctor for preventative or when something just starts to be wrong because their copay or their deductible is outrageous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're basically taking your money and giving you nothing.
Literally right now, yeah, I can't go to one doctor because I have a bill there and they refuse to see me right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is freaking ridiculous. They're like, yeah, until you pay $400+, you can't come back here. I'm like this is literally like highway robbery. Like, why are we okay with this? I
Well,
don't.
and there's people in that it was on Yahoo News or whatever, but it's like, well, go get a job. And I'm like,
Oh my
everyone
God.
needs health care. You need it the minute you get here.
Right.
You need it before
Yes.
you're born.
Right.
Yeah,
You need it till the day you
literally.
die.
Literally, yes. Because
Mhm.
I was on my dad's health insurance until I was 26. Then they kicked me off. But I never had any issues with health insurance. Actually didn't know how blessed I was until I had to get it myself as an adult. You
Right.
know, then I was like, oh my God, there's different levels. Like I'm like, it was a mess.
It was mind blowing, right?
Yes, yes. And then to know that they have these whole billing departments and these whole, like, I mean, there's entire careers on medical billing and codes
Right.
so that they can overcharge us. Like we've legitimized the corruption.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. If you just think
completely.
about how much time they spend trying to not pay for stuff,
Yep.
it'd
Yep,
be cheaper just to pay for stuff.
yep.
But see, the health insurance industry is not interested in caring for you.
No.
Nope.
I don't see the purpose of them, to be honest.
No, they don't need to
Same with
exist.
car insurance. Same with car insurance. We need to
But
get rid of
we
them
have to
too.
have car insurance.
No,
So,
do we? Because let me
Okay.
tell you, I
Okay.
know
Go for it.
90% of people drive around with no car insurance
Yeah.
simply because they can't afford it.
Yeah.
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 Like literally, they cannot afford. It's like groceries or car insurance.
Well,
Right.
looks
No,
like I'm gonna eat.
that is the harsh reality of the world we live in, is that everything is so expensive. I saw a really good meme. I'm not going to be able to quote it correctly, but they said, mental health, the reason that we have mental health trauma is rent and
Mm,
food and
yes.
insurance. And that's why there's mental health trauma in this country. I mean, you spoke about the health
You have
insurance.
to survive. We're in survival mode.
Yeah.
When I got fired, I mean, my biggest panic was I'm losing my health insurance. I mean, that was, those
And
two
that's
things should
insane.
not be tied together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I swear I get so angry every single day. I have the TV running. I shouldn't run that thing. And I see Medicare Part C commercials and Medicare Advantage commercials every single day. And I just think, my God, they're ripping off seniors. That's
Yeah.
all they're doing. And our government allows it.
Yeah.
Our government allows it. It's
It's
horrific.
disgusting. You know what? I honestly think that if two groups came together, our government could change. And I think those two groups, age-wise, are the Gen Zers and the boomers.
Yeah, there you go.
I think the young and the old need to come together
Yeah.
to really demand, like, young people should be pissed off. You can't go to college. You can barely afford food.
You can't
You can
do
barely afford to do anything.
anything.
And then old people, they're feeling they can't afford to live, and they dang sure can't afford to die.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
crazy. It's like I honestly don't know what it's gonna take for more people to come together and do the work with other people like us who have, stepped up and have showed that we're ready to do some work.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
It's
Zoomers and
time.
boomers. Zoomers and boomers.
Ah, there you go.
Zoomers
Nice,
and
Zakir.
boomers.
Go, Zakir.
I'm Gen X, so I'll just tag along together. Whatever. You
You
know.
can
Gen
And
X, I
support.
got
isn't
some
that
beef
made
with
up
y'all.
anyway? I mean, that stuff is made up anyway. That's another
I
division.
know. Yeah, it's
Like
divisions. Right.
that kind of makes
Right.
me crazy too. I'm
Yeah.
like, what do we call who's Zoomer? Who's after the Zoomers? We're gonna
I
start
don't
over
keep
with
Zoomers
track.
boomers.
and
Yeah.
boomers.
I
That's
can't.
so funny. I've never heard
Our,
that.
our not so happy friend here is talking about UBI. I mean, if
Yeah.
we
What's
have
that?
healthcare, if we
It's
have healthcare, that is free at the point of service and based on how much money you make a year, paid for through your taxes, which will be cheaper, and we have a living wage, there's no need for UBI, in my
well.
opinion.
I think that we need to look at China as the example because housing is much more government run, banking is government run, and the essentials are there so that we don't have that stress. That's the thing about our country. We're the most stressed out country there is.
Yes.
We are
And
the
another
most
thing
stressed
about
out.
China is medicine.
Right.
The
Healthcare
Chinese use
free.
herbs and things like that. Okay?
And
So
they don't have
so
health insurance. They have health care.
right.
Yes.
Right. And
And it's
so these
government.
are the kinds of things that's going to make up for an overall better quality of life. Like, I
Yeah.
mean,
Hang on, we got a
you
funny
have
one
to
here.
say
Hang
it.
on. Zoomers, boomers, and the Gen X men.
Oh, there you go.
But I'm
Yes.
No, what
Yes.
about Gen Y? What about millennials?
See, there you
Oh.
go. Now we got an
Oh.
alphabet thing going happening. We just need to say all the alphabet. Come on down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Join the Green Party.
Join the Green Party, everybody.
Yeah.
Come one, come all.
Chaz, just
Oh, I
because it's
think you
another
need
country
to
doesn't
let
mean they
him
don't have to do
alone.
things right.
Yeah.
You've fed into the propaganda.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Oh, my
It-
friend Yvonne's here.
Hey,
All
Yvonne.
the boomers lose their Social Security because of the muskrat. This will become a reality fast.
Boomer
Boomers.
Z. Hey, I like Boomer Z. No, it's Boomer Z.
There you go.
Boomer Z. Let's just say A to Z,
Woo.
Love it. Boomer Z.
And by the way, Chaz, most developed countries have a universal healthcare system that doesn't leave people to die because they don't have money.
Yeah.
That's an insane, cruel system.
And,
It's
I mean,
basically unconstitutional if you really think about it. That's cruel and
it
unusual
is. No,
punishment because you
thank
don't have
you.
money.
It is. It is unconstitutional.
and the other thing about China, again, it just points so much to the nonstop propaganda that our country has been pushing out.
Yeah.
They have not dropped a bomb in 40 years.
Yeah.
We have dropped a bomb every single day for 40 years. There's a difference between these two countries, and
Yeah.
there's a reason that they are succeeding. We are not succeeding because we drop a bomb every day. That's
And we
why
have
we're
never not been
succeeding.
at war the
Never.
entire time that we have been a country.
Right.
Yeah.
Never.
And, it's like America's like the biggest narcissist that I've ever seen. As they're like, I swear it's not me, it's them.
Yeah.
Every time.
Classic.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. And then America Junior in the Middle East, is the same thing.
God.
The same
they're
exact
getting a rude
thing.
awakening. And Trump is doing lots and lots wrong, 100%.
You don't.
That's a good way to put
He's
it.
exposing things that were already wrong,
Right.
like the USAID.
Oh, absolutely.
And NATO,
Oh.
and he wants to stop the war in Ukraine. Cool.
Honestly,
Yes.
What happens
I
later?
definitely
We don't know.
think the USAID stuff needed to be exposed only because
Yes.
a lot of these government organizations are just shell organizations that are covering up God knows what. They're just paying a bunch of people salaries to do
Well, they're
absolutely
they're
nothing.
regime change organizations, and
Yep.
they
Yes.
it's like the carrot and the stick. Like, oh, look, we'll help you, and then they come in and then they screw up their country.
Yeah.
And,
You know?
you know, people talk
Yeah.
about the humanitarian aid that USAID does only to countries who are willing to give up their minerals and wealth to the CEOs of corporations. Otherwise, we're not giving humanitarian aid out. So don't believe it's some altruistic thing.
It's
Absolutely not.
not.
No.
I got some more comments. Quality is greater than quantity. Just look at the $1 billion Harris.
Oh God, what a fiasco
And
that
then
was.
our friend
It's
Brian here.
true.
We launder taxpayer money to these countries with free healthcare and college.
Yes,
Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine did now.
right. Israel has universal health care.
Yes,
We
they
pay
do.
for it. We pay
And we're
for it.
paying for it.
We pay the salaries of Ukraine military, teachers, pensions. We pay the pensions of Ukraine military. I mean, it's insane.
That is nuts.
It
I had
is
no idea.
crazy. Yeah, no, it's crazy. And it is funny now that Zelensky's saying, I don't know where half the money goes. Oh my God.
Of course you don't.
No, of course you don't.
And
Yeah.
but you know, like these kinds of things have been happening. Like I remember a few years back when I was there was some audit they did of all the US military stuff.
Oh
And
God.
there were literally several planes missing, like big ass planes unaccounted for. They could not tell us
Hang on, let me
where
look.
the planes were, and they were
Is it under
worth
here?
billions of dollars.
Yes. No,
Do
it's
you remember W looking around his podium for the weapons of mass
weapons of mass
destruction? It's like,
destruction. Yeah.
every time I hear that, I think
The weapons of mass
I'm like, you
destruction.
idiot.
You mean the ones that Israel created?
Yeah.
With the
Well, and they
rest of
didn't
us.
exist. It was an excuse. Like,
Right.
I mean,
Precisely. What I
manufacturing
want to
consent.
say to everyone is do more research on 9/11. I know the government doesn't want us to. They kind of just want us to
No.
take whatever narrative they painted. I won't say my beliefs or anything. I would just advise people to do more research.
No.
Right.
Don't take everything at face
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things do not make sense to me about 9/11 at all.
Right. No, it's true. Absolutely true.
Hang on. Zucker's killing it in the chat. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Yes.
I'm
This is how we
serious,
capitalize Americans. Remind them that they're missing out, what they're missing out on, because we're paying for other people's social programs.
Yeah.
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 Around the
That's
world.
why these
We're not
hurricane
taking
victims couldn't get help.
Here.
That was the other great thing about blowing up USAID is that they found out the propaganda, the media companies that they are funding all around the world to put out this crap, this propaganda. It's all a massive, massive CIA project. That's what USAID. I mean, maybe it had good intentions at the beginning, but it needed to be blown up.
It never did. It never did.
No, yeah, you might be right. Sorry. I tried to give a little credit to our country.
No, I feel like America needs to hold up a mirror. It's like it's not our fault. Like when you turn out like your parents a little bit, but like that's not your fault though. Like it's just your genes that you ended up with.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it feels being in America. Like it feels like we kind of have to deal with being American, like and how the rest of the world looks at America, but it's like we're like, no, we don't agree with this stuff happening here.
No.
We're not okay with this.
Right.
So I think it's important people like us keep talking, keep putting this kind of stuff out there so that people know that we do not agree with, the genocide still. We do not agree with this bogus leadership. We are going to keep fighting and keep, meeting in community groups and doing the work. So
yes, absolutely.
Grateful to be here. Happy to share this time with y'all and really have these are the conversations I want to be having,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I do want to say one more thing. Our friend here Chaz says, I myself have been treated for adult chickenpox, a deeply cut finger, and a back injury, all for free. This is what we're saying. everyone should have what you just said you have.
Right.
Everyone should have it.
Right.
And it's just part of your taxes. And
Right.
and if you think about what you pay in this bucket of your health insurance that they're ripping you off constantly, and United Healthcare denies 1 in 3 claims that the doctor says that you need. They pulled a woman out of surgery to deny her patient that was on the table
Right.
an overnight stay.
That's
This is how
crazy.
evil they are.
You know,
So
it's a massive
for every-
gambling.
But think about the humans in that process that at every turn said, yes, I'm going to go along and do this.
The
At some point, our humanity has to kick in.
right.
Yeah.
Right. The hundreds of thousands of people who are bankrupt from medical debt. If you don't want to
Insane.
care about them, okay. You could just talk about your own story and not care about them. We at the Green Party care about people,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
We
And he
care
was-
about the people that
Yeah.
are homeless, that are bankrupt from medical debt.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I want to remind everyone, you're literally
No.
one climate disaster away from homelessness.
Right.
So don't ever think that it can happen to you, or you're exempt, because even look at these rich celebrities in LA, that some of them, we may think they're rich, but maybe they were just what you call a house poor, right? They have these nice big houses, but that might be all they got.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
So, like, when we put in this society, when we put all this pressure on people to feel successful if they have a home, I feel like we are adding to, this beast that is, what do you call it? Realty?
Yeah.
Home selling. I don't
Yeah,
even know
yeah.
what to call
Right,
it anymore.
right, yeah.
Because I wish we were just in a time where you could see some available land, you find some material and build a house. But that is not the time we live in. It's so many hoops you have to jump through to become a homeowner. And for millennials like me, it's seeming damn near impossible.
Oh God.
Yep.
And renters who have to have 3 months in advance.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
It makes
becoming
no
impossible
sense.
to rent. Talk about
It's criminal.
close to homelessness. Everyone out there,
It's
how
criminal.
close they are to homelessness. Because right, if the landlord doesn't get you, climate catastrophe will. I mean,
Yep.
and I'm not being exaggerated about the climate catastrophe. I just talked about the one this past weekend. We saw the fires. I swear to God, climate catastrophe is now a weekly thing.
Yeah.
It really is. It's now
That
weekly in
and
America.
airplanes
Yeah, what is going
malfunctioning.
on with that?
No, I'll tell you what's going on with that, Edie. What's going
Thank
on
you.
is these corporations don't give a damn about us.
Well, Boeing,
That's what I
don't know if
know.
these
These
were Boeing,
planes
but
are messed up.
right.
They know these planes are messed up. A lot of them been in service 20, 30 years, and they need to replace those damn planes. But do you think they're going to replace them, or do you think they're going to risk our lives and continue making their money?
Right. And they killed the whistleblowers.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
but
do.
My
Yes, they
husband,
do.
my husband was a writer, and he passed away in 23, but he was a writer, and he opens
I'm
his short
sorry.
storybook talking about because he didn't like to fly. He's like, well, what if the mechanic had a fight with his wife before he got to work, and he forgot to tighten that one screw? I'm like, babe, once you get on the plane, it's not in your control anymore. You know what you're doing. Like, you just like
It's in God's hands at that
you're there.
point.
But no, it's true that capitalism has reached to the point. Boeing had those
It's capitalism.
two crashes. It was a few years back in other countries that killed like 250 people in each plane. How does that company still exist?
Yeah.
How
You
does
got-
that
you
company?
guys are
they
making me
think-
feel better. I
they
gotta
think-
fly on Friday.
They think it's a free.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Edie, I'm sorry. Someone told me not to fly all February, and I've been taking that message very seriously. So,
Well, if I had
But
to drive to
traveling
Seattle, I
mercies,
gotta leave
Edie.
like now. So I'm gonna take my chances, I guess. And
we'll send prayers and
me.
traveling
I'm just-
mercies.
I'm not gonna stress. I'm more stressed about finding the right space in the airport and all that. But I have Chibu Asani is going to go, and Ariel's going to
Yes,
go,
yes,
and
that'll be great. That'll be so great.
be there. Jill Stein, Rich Ware, Chris Hedges.
Butch is going to be there too.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
excellent.
Shama Saman is it's her organization, Workers Strike Back, because workers need rights.
Yes.
You know, and I'm going to go learn how to win like she's been doing. I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Enough of this, like, hiding out because I'm green. Like, no. I'm
No,
green.
Shama is if anybody out there doesn't know Shama's history, go look it up. It's amazing. I mean, as an out proud socialist, she won and won and won big battles against Amazon. I mean, she has done amazing work. She is an inspiration. Absolutely.
I gotta look her up.
God, she's incredible.
Yeah, Workers Strike. Hang on, where's the little thing I had? Workersstrikeback.org, and I think they're going to live stream it too.
Okay.
I didn't see it's a Fight the Rich 2-day conference. She got elected to city council, and the Democrats pulled her in a room and told her, "We know what you campaigned on, but you're not going to do that here." And she's a little like me. Like, oh yeah, okay. So
Right.
she did a tax Amazon.
Yep.
To get, I think that was for rent control. She got the first $15 an hour minimum wage passed.
Yes.
And then when she went to do her
amazing.
national organization, the Democrats swooped in and tried to take it back.
Right.
So they went in, her organization went back in, they fought for it again and won again. So now it's over $20 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she knows how to beat them at their own game. Yeah, Shama is awesome. It's Shama
Yes.
for anybody that's curious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shama. Yeah.
Shama Sawant.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I have been wanting to meet her for a long time.
And that's the critical part of why we are in the Green Party or any independent party. Because you win an office. If you're a Democrat, you've got great ideals, you go win and they will shut you down.
Yes,
Yep.
they will.
They will make sure that you never do any of the things you talked about.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're an independent, if you're a green, you win, you're on your own. They can't stop you.
Well,
No.
because you're beholden to the people that elected you and not your donors. Because the people that
Right.
elected you, if you're Green Party, are your donors. It's the people.
Right.
So we went way over 23
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
So it was a spirited conversation.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Look,
Got one more.
I don't
Awesome.
even want to leave, y'all.
Yeah,
This
right.
has been awesome.
You can
Yay.
hang on after if you want.
Yeah.
Yes,
always
no,
have- we always have
I'll
our
hang
after
out.
party.
I'll hang out with you after. I
Oh,
just
Doctor's
need
gonna
to-
be there. Oh,
Oh, Zucker. Nice.
You're
You're
gonna
going to
be
be at
there?
Workers Strike Back. Excellent.
yay.
If anyone
Excellent.
can get me tickets to Washington, I'll be there.
Well, this is Seattle. This is Seattle. Yeah.
Let's
Oh, it's
go.
in Seattle.
Yeah,
right?
Seattle. Next
Yeah,
weekend.
I'm
Yep.
like, listen.
So everybody, just a reminder, in March we're going to move this to Wednesday night. We're trying to like keep the YouTube space for all these kinds of voices to where you don't have to choose. Because Sabby goes live now, and we want to move that so we can go watch Sabby, and maybe someday she'll come
Yes.
watch us.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So good night, everybody.
Good
Yeah,
night,
thank you so much for
everyone.
hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you. An uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising. Fight the power. It's an uprising. Fight the power.